give yourself the kindness to not restrict yourself on something. Because when you restrict yourself, then when you lose that control, then you go overboard. And I think it's really easy when you feel like you have nothing in control, and then all of a sudden you were like, oh my gosh, I can control X, Y, Z, A, whatever. Because when you feel like you have no control over anything, you look for every single thing that you can control. And it's like once you find that one thing, then it's like, oh, I have it. I don't need to worry about anything else. All I can focus on is this. But then you might have all of a sudden that hyperfixation on that one thing. And if you restrict or you go on the other side of the pendulum, it's this hard balance between control, without control, in control, out of control, in control, out of control. And those highs are really high that you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing fine, I'm doing great, I'm in control. And then all of a sudden when you lose control, you spiral and then you do blank. And it's hard. It's hard when you feel like your world is nothing that you genuinely want, that it's nothing you had in mind for yourself, and you feel like you're just scrambling all the time to get X done, get Y done, get Z done, just because you have to. You have no passion or ambition to get that done, but you have to just because that's what life has in front of you right now. And so when you can find that thing that you can actually grasp onto, it's an amazing feeling, because you're like, oh, the outside world quiets and all you have is that one thing. And then when you no longer have that one thing, you go overboard to get back that one thing, to get back in control. And it's a hard journey to go on, and it's a hard journey to be on, because you just want to be able to live your life that you want to. Plain, simple, and as it is. And when you feel like you have no control over what you do, when you do, who you do it with, how you do it, and you feel like you're just a cog, I think it's a cog, like a gear in the machine. You feel like you're just a part of the system without a purpose. And when you find that X, or when you find that Y, you have that purpose. You have that thing you can look forward to. But then when you don't have that thing anymore and you lose control of that thing, then sometimes that thing takes control of you. And it's hard, because sometimes when you are involved in whatever, it gets you through that hard time. And sometimes it's a habit, maybe it's something else. Whatever you want to fill it with, fill that blank with. Is it serving you in the long term? Or are you just trying to fill a hole that is being temporarily filled by this whatever, and you're being left empty, or physically, emotionally, spiritually? Emotionally. That's the question that you have to answer. And you and I might not have that answer right now. You and I might not know that for a while. But the answer will come. And it might come in a package, beautiful, being like, yo, you need to focus, you need to refocus, you need to get your act together, in a present. or it could appear in a not so friendly thing. And I hope you can figure out what your is, because it's going to be hard either way. And you might as well have it be hard in the direction of where you can figure yourself out instead of trying to throw things on top of yourself so then you don't have to focus on the things that you don't want to. And sometimes when we kind of distract ourselves is in the time and the point that where we don't want to be there, when we don't want to be somewhere, when we don't want to be mentally somewhere. And at the end of whatever your blank is, how do you feel? And are you just doing it to get through it, but then be left emptier? Or is this thing actually helping you and serving you and healthily getting you through this? Because I think I was listening to this podcast, and they were like, people who take substances that react with the dopamine, it leaves them feeling emptier, because you naturally have a base level of serotonin and all those other happy hormones. And when you take a substance, it drastically heightens it, but then it lowers it past the base point, and it takes a while to get back to that base point naturally. And is that low really worth that high, is kind of what I'm asking you. And I know this is a very deep thing, but I don't know, I think it's hard, because you want to fill yourself with things that you enjoy. But are those things that you enjoy truly enjoyment? Or are they pleasure? Or are they distraction? Or are they just something to fill a time? And I think one question is that you can ask yourself, is this the lifestyle that I can maintain and that will help me for the future long term? And if that answer is yes, genuinely, go for it. But if you have any doubt that this X, this Y could be harmful, then I want you to reflect on what's going on. Because you know what you're doing. You know what is happening. But emotionally, physically, intellectually, spiritually, you might not want to accept it. And it's hard. Acceptance is hard. And there's no way around it. And there's nothing that you and I can do to hide away from what's the truth. Because honestly, at the end of the day, it's super cliche, but the truth always comes out one way or another. And not to sound so black and white, but don't you want to be able to have control when you have that truth come out? Because you're allowed to change. You don't have to stay in this restriction, this overuse, this overdue. Because you and I change for the better. You and I can change for the better. And when you feel so lost, when you feel so unknown and feel so heavy, you don't know what to do. And so you turn towards that X and you turn towards that Y. But does that really show you who you are? Does that represent your character, your values, your blank? And if that answer is yes, cool. But if that answer is no, then ask yourself, what could you do that best represents your true character and beliefs? because you are the only one who truly knows who you are. You are the only one in this entire world that knows what is going on with you. And that's all I can say, is that you might be alone, you might feel alone, but you and I and every single person on this planet is struggling with something. And that even if you are turning towards blank, know that you're not alone. Know that you and I and everyone else is trying to deal with something. And that even though it might feel like it's unbeatable, unfixable, broken almost, that you feel broken, that you are broken, that you're not. You're truly not broken, because every single day that you and I are here is just another day to figure out what to do next, how to do something else that we wouldn't have even thought of. And I want you to leave you with this. Would your younger self be proud of you? Or what would your future self tell you now? I ask you this because, from one perspective, how would your younger self, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, whatever, what would they do, think, ask you, give you advice to do if they saw you in this position? And if you see yourself 20 years from now, what would your future self tell your present self that you should do? Because it is so easy to get wrapped up in here, but then forget what's out here. And I think one of the most sobering things that you can ask yourself is, how can I make my past self proud? How can I make that little pronoun, little girl, little boy, little individual proud? Because it's a little piece of motivation. It's a little piece of, oh, they wouldn't be very proud of me, so I better get my act together. Or I think my future self would really want me to be doing this and this, because I imagine myself having this and this and not doing blank anymore, not feeling like blank anymore. And I think it kind of sets a different tone of reality into it, because you and I both know this current state, being, mentality, headspace is not sustainable and is not enjoyable, and it is not doable for the rest of your life. And I want you to know that you're going to get through this hard time, and you're going to realize that every single thing happened for a reason. I will say that till the cows come home. Another quote. But it truly does. It truly does, and it's hard to recognize that, and you might want to reject it. Every single thing in your body might want to reject that everything happens for a reason, but you cannot look back on a single thing in your life and not say, wow, this happened and now I'm here. From the best friend that you made in kindergarten, you remember that person, to the teacher that made your day that one day that you were having an awful morning because whatever happened. Every single thing has shaped you into the person that you are today. And I want you to remember you're so beautiful. Not physically, but internally. That you are amazing. That you have gotten this far under this circumstance, and you might feel like you are drowning, but you are swimming. You are more than treading. Yeah, you might get tired swimming, but you're doing it. You're putting one arm in front of the other and kicking. And I want you to know I know I asked this question to you, but I want you to know there's a version of you and future you, or I should say, there's a version of past you and future you that is so proud of you, because they see how hard things are. They understand every single emotion that you are experiencing, feeling, knowing, thinking, every single thing in between. And I want you to know they're proud of you and they believe in you. Because remember how you were last week and you didn't think that you would get through this week or last week, and you made it. And you should be so proud of your literally last week self, that you got through it. Even literally the yesterday self. You might have had the worst day of your life, but yet you still continued and let the sun set and the moon rise and repeat, and you are here. And that future self is so proud of you, because you're going to do that again. And that person, like, today is your tomorrow's yesterday. The tomorrow you was so proud of you today because you literally did it. You moved forward. And so I will leave you with this for real, for real. Do not forget who you are. Do not get intertwined with an identity that is not truly you, because that does not represent you. And when you feel like things a part of that are in control of you, you lose control of yourself and you forget who you are. And so then you turn to things that you normally wouldn't, and you think about things. And I want you to remember, it's hard. Life is hard. But to always, always, always fall back on your character and your true values. Food for thought.